Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're talking about the life cycle of the plants and some animals, okay? What is a life cycle? A life cycle is a series of changes that a plant, animal, or person goes through in his life, okay? So, let me show you the life cycle of a plant, okay? We start with the seeds that go into the ground. They start growing in the ground. Some roots and some stem and some leaves come out of it. After that, the plant gets bigger and bigger. It has more leaves. And the last thing would be that it comes a flower, okay? And after the flower is blooming and pretty, it dies, okay? So that is a life cycle of a plant, okay? The seeds go into the ground, it starts growing roots, a stem, and a leaf. It gets bigger and bigger. It has more leaves, so it becomes a plant. Then we have a flower blooming, and after the flower is done, the flower dies. The plant dies, okay? Sometimes. Okay, so here we have the life cycle of a duck, okay? The duck starts inside the eggs, okay? So once we have the eggs, a little duck hatches from the eggs, and that's called a hatchling. The duck grows bigger, and it learns to say quack quack, to walk, to swim, and he becomes a duckling. Time passes by, and it becomes an adult duck that can have the babies, okay? It's babies. And after that happens, and it's an adult and has babies and it lives a life, then the duck dies, okay? So here, now we have the life cycle of a dog, okay? So the dog doesn't come out of an egg. It comes out from his mommy's dog belly because he's a mammal, okay? It's called a mammal because it comes out from his mommy's belly. So this little puppy is learning to walk, to run. Time goes by and he becomes an adolescent dog, okay? An adolescent dog. More time goes by and it becomes an adult dog. An adult dog that knows how to do everything that a dog can do. After he's an adult, he can have babies, okay? And after he lives a long life, he dies, okay? Now, let's see the life cycle of a frog. The frogs come out from eggs, okay? So the frog starts growing in the egg, and that's called an embryo. Then the embryo is out of the egg, it hatches from the egg, and it becomes a tadpole that's growing, okay? Once it has its legs and it starts losing his tail, it's called a froglet that becomes an adult frog, okay? It becomes an adult frog. Okay? So that is the life cycle. Okay? So here we have the life cycle of a plant. This is all the changes that a plant goes through before it dies. This is the life cycle of a duck and all the changes the duck has in his life before he dies. Then here we have the life cycle of a dog and all the things that happens to the dog before his life ends. And here we have the life cycle of a frog, okay? Let's see if you remember those life cycles. Okay, let's start with the seed, okay? Here I have my little cards and we're gonna put them in order, okay? Number one, the first thing that happens is that the plants start from a seed, okay? The second thing is that the plants start growing, the roots, the stem, and the leaves, okay? That plant gets bigger, and that's the 13. And it gets bigger, leaves start growing, and then we have a flower, okay? So these are the things that happen before a plant dies, okay? Now, let's see if you remember the life cycle of a duck. Okay? What do we start with? The eggs. The first thing is the eggs, okay? So, the duck is inside the egg. Then, the second thing is that it hatches, and he's called a hatchling. Then, that duck grows and becomes bigger, and it learns to swim, to walk, to say quack quack. After some time passes, then he is a adult duck that can have baby ducks, okay? Great. Now, let's do the life cycle of a puppy. Okay? So, we said that the doggy comes out of his mama dog's belly, okay? Once he comes out of the belly of the mommy, it's called a puppy, okay? That's a small dog. Some time passes and he becomes an adolescent dog that is learning to do everything that dogs do, to bark, to walk, to run, to do all those things. After that, he becomes an adult dog that can do all the things dogs do. And then he has his babies, okay? So this is the life cycle of a dog. And the last cycle we have to see if we learn is the life cycle of a frog. So, we start with the eggs, yes? Because frogs are born from eggs, okay? So we have the egg. Inside the egg, there's an embryo. Yeah, that's the second thing. Then, once the embryo is out of the egg, it starts growing, and it's a tadpole. Time passes, and it keeps on growing, and it becomes a froglet. And the last thing is that he is an adult frog, okay? So these are the lives the plants and some animals live before they die, okay? I think you understood the life cycle very well. So let's grab our practice books and our homework books, okay? Open your practice book on page 24. We're going to use this page and these drawings, okay? Get your glue and your scissors. We're going to cut all these drawings or pictures, and we are going to organize them by order here, okay? On the first row, we're going to put the life cycle of a tree, and here on the second one, we're going to put the life cycle of a hen, okay? So, we're going to start with the seed right here. Then, the seed is growing into a tree, so that would be number 2. Number 3, the tree is already big and with fruits. And the fourth one is that the tree is dead, okay? Here, we're gonna start with the hen hatching from the egg. The second one, we have a grown hen, okay, that knows how to do everything hens do. The number 3 is that the hen already has its babies. And the fourth one is going to be that the hen dies, okay? So that is going to be your practice, okay? Very easy for you. And then we're gonna grab our homework book. And we're also going to need colors, okay? So here, we're gonna go to page 24. We are going to start coloring all our pictures. We are gonna cut them, and we're going to organize them, okay? So first we start with the seed on the ground, then the plant starts growing, it has some leaves, then the plant has the flowers, and the last one is that the plant is starting to lose its leaves, the leaves are falling, and it dies, okay? Don't forget to write your name on the page, and we turn into our next page. We color our pictures. We cut our pictures, and we're gonna glue them in order as well, okay? So we're going to start with the eggs. The little hen hatches from the eggs. It becomes a chick, then it's an adult hen, and the last thing that happens is that after it has its babies, it's on our table, okay? So write your name once again, and that will be your homework for life cycle, okay? Thank you for learning with me about the life cycle of plants and some animals, okay? Bye!